Hello everybody, Anita here, and today I'm going to do a review of my bike that I've had for a week now, and I wanted to show you a little bit about it and tell you what it was like. So this bike, unlike my last one, is a 26-inch mountain bike. It has 21 gears, which is the first time in my life I've ever had a bike with gears, so it's been a learning experience. This is called THOR. And it's a very nice bike. I have made some modifications, as you can probably guess by looking at it. It did not come with the baskets, but I use this bike primarily for going around town to run my errands and do my shopping, and so I use it for pretty much everything that I do my shopping for. So I have to have the baskets on there, and at first we didn't think we were able to put the basket that I had from my other bike on because it's not set up the same as the other bike, but luckily with some fabulous cable ties we were able to make it work. And we also took off of the other bike the back rack and attached it so that I could have the back basket on there. But some things I wanted to mention about this bike is we have had to make some adjustments. Like when you first get a new bike, especially if you order it online, which is what we did, it's just kind of somewhat put together, and so you really should check some things out on it. And so there were some adjustments with the brakes that needed to be done, and a few other little things here and there. The tires are not true. That's something that I watched in one of my other videos that I like from another YouTuber that has a channel. He was talking about checking to make sure that your tires are true, when you spin them, which they aren't, but they've kind of settled in. We didn't really have a way to true the tires. But after, putting air in it and riding it and everything, they've kind of settled out. But I'm still having some problems with my height for the seat and the handlebars. The seat we adjusted yesterday, and so I'm trying it out today to see if it helps some, because I had it up really high because according to all of the things I've read and seen in other videos, to know how to adjust your seat height, whenever you put your heel on this pedal and you straighten your leg out, it should be like pretty much all the way straight. And that way you know that your seat is the right height. Well, when I do that, my seat ends up being like way up here. I mean, it's like really, really super high. So it was really not working out very well. So we adjusted that yesterday, and like I say, I've still got to kind of test that out. As far as the handlebars goes, this is not a typical handlebar post. So it's not like a regular bike where you can just, loosen this up and raise the handlebar and make it higher. It doesn't work that way. With this kind, it doesn't have a post. So what you have to do is you have to actually take this off, and you have to pay money to buy they're actually called razors. I thought they were called risers, but they're razors for a bicycle. Anyway, you have to buy a razor, which is a thing that looks like this, and you put it on top of the one that's already on here. And there's these things called spacers in here that you can use, and you can take some off or add some on, that kind of makes it higher or makes it a little lower, or however you want to do it. But the handlebars are definitely too low, especially because I'm having to, a lot of times if I'm shopping, I have a backpack on my back that's full of grocery items. So it's really heavy, and I'm having to lean real far over on the bike because the handlebars are not high enough. So I am going to have to get one of those at some point to raise them up. In the meantime, Jim took this piece off here and flipped it over, because I did see a video about that too, that showed that if you flip this around, it gives you, you know, maybe a quarter of an inch or an eighth of an inch height. Because of the way it's designed, you can have it to where it's either going straight out or, you know, up just a shade. So now it's going up just a shade, which maybe helps a little bit. I'm not wild about these grips. They are not comfortable. I mean, they really want to give me blisters, so that's why I went out and bought these little gloves that are not really great, but they help. I mean, these are cheap, and it's too hot, really, to wear these gloves. Because these aren't like, you know, cyclists, they wear a special kind of gloves that have, you know, ventilation and padding and stuff in them to help, you know, with your hands. But anyway, that's another thing I'll have to get eventually, but not right now. Because after buying the bike, I just don't have the money to invest in anything else. So, and we did add this little tire pump on here, which this I already had from my previous bike. This seat cover, just put that on yesterday because it's a gel seat cover, because the seat's kind of not comfortable. So I'm going to try that out and see how that works. With this I had. So luckily, I mean, a lot of this is stuff that I already had, so I haven't had to invest in anything else. But I did go into the far end of town on the bike yesterday to do my main shopping with the backpack and everything. And it was pretty rough. I mean, that's how I knew. I was like, okay, something's just still not right. I got to get something changed on here. And that's why we changed the seat height and everything, because I mean, I had this seat up so high that, I mean, I could not put my feet down. I couldn't touch the ground at all. I mean, not even with my tiptoes. And getting on and off the bike is really scary. And when you've got a lot of stuff, I mean, when this basket, normally I don't have this extra basket in here if I'm doing my shopping. But, you know, if you've got this basket full of stuff, and this front basket full of stuff, and you've got a backpack full of stuff on your back, you've got a lot of balance issues. And so, you know, trying to get on and off the bike when you've got all that extra weight that you're trying to carry around is very difficult to do, and it can be very dangerous. So, you know, I've got to try to figure out something better on that, because like I say, I mean, hopefully maybe this seat being down won't be so bad. I'm just concerned about my knees, because I've got really long legs, so it makes it to where I need to have my seat up higher than a lot of people would. But maybe with the, you know, having the gears and not having to work so hard with my knees and my legs on the bike, having the seat lower might, you know, be better. So, let's see if there was something else that I was going to tell you. Overall, I mean, it's a nice bike. I am liking it. I do have my little tool set here, which is something I had from the previous bike, which Jim attached over here. It's got my little tool set in there in case I have problems along the way. Problem is that I don't necessarily know how to use all the tools, or, you know, how to fix everything. But it's good to have. Maybe I can figure it out. But overall, it's a good bike. It's very heavy, because this is not an aluminum alloy bike or a titanium bike. This is it's made from steel, so it's pretty darn heavy. And so you can imagine, when you've got a heavy bike already, and then you add all that extra weight of stuff that you're carrying around, it can be pretty hard. But I did notice that, you know, it was definitely easier having the gears for, you know, making such a long trip, you know, going to the market, you know, going to the mall where I do my shopping and stuff. It was, you know, a lot easier having the gears. It wasn't as tiring, and a lot easier when you've got that extra weight, you know, getting up a hill. Hello, doggy. Hi there. Obviously he must belong to someone. He's got a collar on. Hello. So anyhow, yeah, I would recommend this bike. I mean, I don't think I mentioned it in my video last week when I got it. The reason we got this bike is because it was on sale, and I was wrong on the price. Originally, somebody had asked me, and I said it was originally $500. That was not correct. Jim said it was like a $300 bike that had been reduced down to about $81. And we have been saving for months to be able to get me another bike, since the other one was just too small, and I was having so many problems with my knees trying to, tote all that, weight around, carrying everything, only having a single gear and everything. It was just tearing me up, and it was really hard. So we knew I had to have another bike, and so we had saved and saved and saved for months. Yeah, I know, $81, you shouldn't have to save for months, but, we do. So it took us a while to save up enough to actually be able to afford to get another bike. And we were afraid that at that price, these bikes were going to go pretty fast. And so, he actually got it without telling me. He just came in the room and he said something about putting my bike up for sale. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And he said, well, because I got you a new bike. And I was like, what? And so, yeah, he kind of surprised me. I mean, I wasn't expecting that he was going to just order it, but he said he just thought about it and figured if I don't get it, they're going to sell out of them at that price. And so it was worth getting, and I'm glad that we got it. I'm still getting used to it. I am getting better with the gears, though. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with that. And so I'm hoping that overall this was a good thing. But overall, it's a great bike. And I'm very happy to have it. And hopefully once I get that handlebar razor, that will help, because I'm more of an upright rider. I like to sit more upright, and with this one I'm like way down like this. So I need the handlebars to be raised up. Maybe with the seat lower, that'll be better. So we'll just see. So that's it. Overall, I give this a good, out of 5 stars, I'd at least give it 4. I'd give it a 4-star rating. I'd give it a 5, except for that, I wish it had handlebars. Oh, and it doesn't have fenders, which I love. I love fenders on a bike. I think it makes the bike just look so sweet. I love it. I love fenders. And this one doesn't have it. And we tried putting my fenders from the old bike on this one, and it won't work. They're not designed. They would fit. The size would actually fit. But it's just not designed to attach to this bike. So not even with cable ties. Couldn't get it to work. So no fenders. That's a disappointment. So anyway, overall, 4 stars, good bike, and I think that, once I get a little more used to it and finally get things adjusted properly, I think I'm going to be really happy with it. So if you see this, it's a K-bike. The brand is K-bike. It's a THOR 26-inch, 21 speed. If you ever see this bike, you want to, curious about trying it out, I would recommend it, yes. Especially if you can find it on sale like I did. And I don't know if it's a Thailand bike, or, I don't know if maybe it's made in China, but anyway, wherever it's made, it's decent. It's a good bike, especially for the price. So that's it. I just wanted to let you guys know what it was like after a week of riding it, and kind of give a little review, because you never know when somebody out there might be interested in this bike and want to see a review on it. So hopefully I've helped in some way. So we'll see. If you enjoyed this episode of BBC&C, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. Be sure to tune in to our next episode of Beaches, Bikes, Coffee, and Cats. From Anita Jacobson, thank you all so much. Have a good one, everybody, and we will see y'all later. Bye.